This results the generation of the data of the such enormous volume and the complexity of the big data. So here in this figure it shows like how smart city is being connected in various kinds of sectors like IT connectivity, power supply, sanitation, water, public transports. The data collected from the different devices will fed into an online platform so the government can access easily like these data and monitor how city is actually functioning in a real time. Hello everyone, welcome back to the session 2, chapter 3, Emerging Trends. Myself Jayashree, faculty, department in Computer Science, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. So, what are the topics covered in the session 2? Let us discuss. Topics covered here is big data. What exactly the big data you'll be learning in this session. IoT, that is Internet of Things. Smart cities, cloud computing, grid computing, and at the last, the blockchains. Are you ready to learn one by one topics for the day? Come, let us see what is big data. So, we all know the big data. Data refers to the large size, the raw facts and the figures. It is not only voluminous, but it is also large in size, unstructured, and how the data in the today it is being captured with a billion of internet users, and the majority of the world's web traffic is coming from the smartphones, as we all know that. And also it shows the current pace of millions of bytes the data are created in the each day. This is about the big data, and also this results the generation of the data of the such enormous volume and the complexity of the big data. As I told you, data is not only voluminous, but it is also unstructured, like our posts. It may be instant messages, chats, photographs, our tweets, blog articles, news items, audio or video chats, etc. So this is about the big data. So how big data is being captured in each and every stage we will see, that is the volume, the visualization, cloud technology, network, collection, storage, research, analysis, in all the ways, like in all the fields, like how big data is captured in each day. Millions and billions of data is being captured, and of course it is unstructured also. So we understood what is big data. Now let us see some of the characteristics of the big data, and we can also call it as 5 V's. That is, everything starts with the V. The first one is volume, variety, veracity, value, velocity. These are the 5 V's, that is the characteristics of the big data. Now let us see one by one what exactly the V stands for. The first one is volume. Volume refers to the size of the data. What is exactly the data size it refers? And the example of the size of the data here, it is healthcare. Not only the healthcare, many other sectors are also there. So here I have given the example just as a healthcare. Next, coming to the second V, that is velocity. How fast it is growing, the big data. So example, patient records, test results, etc. Next, the third V is your variety. Variety, that is structured, semi-structured and unstructured data. Next, veracity. Here, veracity refers to the accuracy and the trust of the data, how it is captured and collected. At the last, that is a value, disease detection it may be, diagnosis, better treatment, reduced cost, that is the value of the data. So these are some of the 5 V's and the characteristics of the big data. So which is the big data software here? It is used, that is Apache Hadoop, Apache Spark and Cloudera, and some of them is also there like Tableau and many other softwares. So here you can see the big data. It is in a field of like retail, banking, finance, media, entertainment, healthcare, education, government, transportation and the insurance. So this is about the big data software. In the next slide, we will see some of the examples of the big data, like analyzing big data for different kinds of applications like category, population, etc. And in the field of game, users can play a game in like what level it is completed and not able to clear the level and quit. All this helps to improve their software. And also it helps in a disaster management also. So this is about the big data examples. Now let us see one more emerging trend, that is IoT, Internet of Things. So what is this Internet of Things? That is a network of devices that have an embedded hardware and also the software to communicate and also to connect and exchange data with other devices on the same network. This is about your IoT. Interconnection of devices through the network is your Internet of Things. So, Internet of Things, in which are the services? It is like anything, any device, anyone, anybody can get connected, any service, any business, any path, any network, any place, anywhere and anytime at any context. So this is about the Internet of the Things, like how can it be exchanged with the help of the data. It improves the working of the things around us by connecting to the IoT and effective communication among different devices. For example, in our day-to-day household appliances also, like smart home, microwave oven, and air conditioner, door lock, CCTV camera or other such devices are enabled to connect to the internet, and also we can easily access through the IoT connections and remotely control them on the go using our smartphone. So these are some of the examples of the IoT, and also some of other examples are there like firing alarms, automatic water level controller, smart watch, smart farming, retail business and smart cities. So these are some of the examples of the IoT devices, that is Internet of Things. So next, one more emerging trend we have, that is the smart city. So what exactly the smart city means, we will see. That is the idea of a smart city. It makes use of the computer and communication technology along with the IoT to manage and also to distribute the resources efficiently and effectively. And it is a technology where it is designing a city with the intelligent enough and also to interact with the government and the citizens effectively, and also information is shared among different departments and also to the citizens, where it makes the system more effective in finding the solutions. This is about the smart city, how effectively we can get connected with the people smartly and with the government, citizens smartly. So smart cities also, citizens can participate, is also important factor, the participation of the citizens, how effectively it can be done, like, and also it can be a public transports, IT connectivity, water power supply, sanitation, solid waste management, e-governance, and the citizens' participation. So this is about the smart cities, how it is taking up day by day to make a present citizens more smarter, technological savvy, and many more. So here in this figure, it shows like how smart city is being connected in various kinds of sectors like IT connectivity, power supply, sanitation, water, public transports. Now, in the next slide, like we will see like adding cameras, that is AI enabled government, effectively it can monitor the crowd density and also the cleanliness of the public places, movement of the registered vehicles, and many more. When we enable these kind of AI cameras, the city can be more smarter and effectively it can be monitored. Next, the data collected from the different devices will fed into an online platform, so the government can access easily like these data and monitor how city is actually functioning in a real time. And this information can be sent to the wireless signals across the network of the sensor nodes to the centralized computer for the further analysis. So this is one kind of technology where we can improve the present city to the smart city and make our citizens more smarter and smarter. Next, it results in an effective communication among different kinds of departments, effective management for the cities. Example here, like one small example, like we have taken like Dubai, the 50 smart services from 22 government sectors. Government provided different kinds of apps and services like booking a ticket, booking a taxi, and pay your bills, etc. So Dubai is one of the example which I can give you. So this is about the smart city. More examples like your public street lights, dark and dim when they are like no activity by using a sensors. When there is no any activity, like we can dark and dim the lights. So this is about the public street lights. And one more like look at for the free parking spots. And the smart building also uses a sensors to detect the earthquake and warn nearby buildings. So prior warning it can be taken. And also the smart tunnel also uses a wireless sensors. This is one kind of example, like detect the leakage and the congestion of the tunnel. And also the smart bridge uses a wireless sensors to detect and any loose bolt like cable if there is any crack. So this kind of detections can happen when we like inbuild the cameras in a particular areas or in the city. So these are some of the examples of the smart city. So next coming up, the cloud computing. What exactly this cloud computing means, which provides us a means of accessing the applications as utilities over the internet. And also it allows us to create, configure, customize the applications online. So this is about the cloud computing and applications such as in a cloud computing like email and web conferencing, customer relationship management, that is your CRM, execute on the cloud. So now let us see what are the benefits of the cloud computing and how effectively it is doing. Applications as utilities over the internet, manipulate and configure the online apps. No software is required for the cloud computing, online development and development tools, and also like we have high efficiency, reliability and flexibility, cost effective, on-demand self-service, resources available on the network. So these are some of the benefits of the cloud computing. So which are the resources exactly? Like we will see hardware, software are provided by the companies called the cloud service providers and usually charge on the pay like per use basis, and on-demand delivery of the IT resources via network with pay as you go pricing. And instead of buying a physical data centers and servers, you can easily access the technology services such as computing power, database, storage devices as a need of a basic providing for the cloud service provider. So All the data and the security maintenance are taken care by the provider. User or a company is free from these kind of things. So cloud computing also, it offers a cost-effective, on-demand resources. So some of the examples we will see of the cloud computing in the field of industry, healthcare, financial services, games. So these are some of the examples. One by one, let us understand. Using a wide range of cloud services such as data backup, disaster recovery, email, virtual, instantly like scale and deploy the globally in a minute, and healthcare, more personalized treatment for the patients. In the financial services, real-time fraud detection and prevention. Games, providing an online game services to the world, and cloud service provider like Microsoft Azure, AWS, Google Cloud, IBM Cloud. So these are some of the examples. So cloud computing, in this block diagram, you're seeing how the cloud clients are being segregated into the various service models. That is, software comes under the application, next a platform, next the infrastructure. What exactly this is, we will see. Cloud clients, that is a web browser, as we all know that mobile app and the thin client, it has been segregated into the different models. That is, software as a service, that is comes under the application. Platform as a service, again it is a platform. Infrastructure as a service, it is a infrastructure. So application, that is software as a service, that example CRM, email, games, virtual desktop. Platform as a service, your database, your web server, deployment tools. Next, infrastructure as a service, we can see like virtual machines, servers, storage, and the networks. So how the service models, already we have discussed how it has been categorized. That is computing based on the service models. It has been categorized into three basic service models. That is, infrastructure as a service is called as IaaS. Then platform as a service, we call it as PaaS. Software as a service, we call it as SaaS, that is our application. So this is about the cloud computing and how the service models has been categorized into three groups we have discussed. In the next slide, we'll be discussing about the grid computing. So what is this grid computing? Cloud computing we have learned. Then what is this grid computing? Let us understand it is a multiple computing nodes which join together to solve the common computerized problem. Which are those common computerized problem? Let us understand. And here also the grid computing is being categorized or divided into two types. The data grid is used to manage a large and the distributed data having required multiple user access. And CPU and the processor grid is one more type of a grid, that is where the processing is moved from one PC to another PC as needed, or a large task is being divided into a small subtasks divided for the various nodes for the parallel processing. So these are some of the two types of grid processing, that is your data grid and your CPU processor grid. That is for the multiple functioning nodes. For to solve the common computational problem, we will use this grid computing. Next topic, the last topic in this chapter is your blockchains. What is this blockchains? It's a very new word what we are hearing in the emerging trend. Of course, this is also a technology where it works on the concept of a decentralized and shared database where each computer has a copy of the database. A block can be thought as a secure chunk of data or a valid transaction. Each block has some data which we call it as a header, which is visible for every other node, while only the owner has access to the private data of the block. So such blocks form a chain is called as the blockchain. So next, it is a revolutionary technology, tends to provide more safe and secure transaction between the data, and each transaction is recorded in the block, which is recorded in the block It forms a chain of blocks where each transaction is recorded, and it is digital ledger or a diary which is distributed across the network, that we call it as a public diary. And these transactions are encrypted with a strong algorithms and cryptography. Next, each user is provided with a public key and a private key. So what exactly this public key is for all the users in the network, and private will be only used by the owner has started the transaction. So each transaction is validating by all the users in the network, where it can avoid the hacking the transaction. So IT is a transparent, unchangeable, decentralized digital diary where it ensures the trust, security and the safe of the data transactions in the network. So cryptocurrency uses a blockchain technology. Where exactly this blockchain technology uses? It is in a cryptocurrency example, that is like in a Bitcoin, USD coin. These are some of the examples. And what are the applications of the blockchain? That is in a digital currency is one of the application, and in a healthcare, for the better data sharing between the health providers would result a high probability of accurate diagnosis and more effective treatments, and overall increased ability of the healthcare organizations. And also in a land registration records to avoid a various disputes which is arising out of land ownership and claims and encroachments, and also to deliver the cost effective care. And in like application like in a banking, media, telecom, travel and hospitality and other areas. Thank you. This ends the today's session.